Anytime I go, I'm always coming back. Anytime I go, I'm always coming back. I try to bring my heart, but home is where it's at. So anytime I go, I'm always coming back. And anytime I'm up there, I'm always looking down. Anytime I'm up there, I'm always looking down. Trying to find you somewhere high up in the clouds. Anytime I'm up there, I'm always looking down. In the morning, in the night, always right there by my side. Over mountains, over seas, always right there next to me. Anytime I call, I always feel your love. Anytime I call, I always feel your love. Even when the signal is slowly breaking up. Anytime I call, I always feel your love. In the morning, in the night, always right there by my side. Over mountains, over seas, always right there next to me. Anytime I go, anytime I go, anytime I'm up there, anytime I'm up there, anytime I call, anytime I call, anytime, 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 anytime. In the morning, in the night, always right there by my side. Over mountains, over seas, always right there next to me.
Yep, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, no, you're back.
Right there. I'm good.
I'm gonna keep clean for an hour, yeah.
She's right there in a green dress with red glasses. She's really short.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you. It's all about me, right? Welcome, and thank you for coming. I know that this has been a difficult year and a half. It's not easy to travel in these times, and I just want to tell everybody how much I appreciate you all being here. This is kind of a double whammy for me because I get the honor of marrying my daughter. I'm Brom Lehman. I'm father of the bride, for those of you who don't know me. And again, thank you for coming. I just want to say how happy I am to officiate at this ceremony. I haven't done one of these in many years, and it's always something that's very pleasing and happy. Pippa and Chris didn't have to ask me to do this. There's plenty of others that could have done a much more polished job than I can, and who wouldn't have brought along the whole emotional dynamic of being the father of the bride. So this is a first for me, and you're all going to have to bear with me because I might collapse in a giant blubbering pile of wussiness. Seriously, it really is the greatest honor to be doing this for you guys. As you know, both of you know, I'm a lawyer. I represent disabled people who are angry and unhappy, so it's a real pleasure to be able to participate in something that's really all about celebrating happiness and love. So thank you, Christopher and Pippa, for allowing me to play a small role in such an important and solemn event in your lives. Pippa and Christopher have asked that to begin the ceremony, I say a few words about marriage. I told them that they asked me that at their own risk. I don't have any particular wisdom, but I would say that the best advice I can give them is that as they start their married life, they should take seriously the old cliche that marriage is a partnership in every sense of the word. Cliches are there for a reason. They're often true. And for any partnership to last, it takes very hard work sometimes. It takes patience, it takes understanding, it takes an ability and a desire to step into the shoes of the other. Chris and Pippa, as you go forward into your married life, please listen to one another. Please respect each other and respect yourselves. And above all else, keep your sense of humor, which I don't think is going to be difficult for them. So there you have it. That's my 30-second primer on how to live a happily married life. Before we commence with the vows and the exchange of rings, I just want to ask that all married people here take this moment as an opportunity to reflect on your own experiences and to recommit to the feelings and the beliefs that led you into your marriage in the first place. And maybe by doing this, you'll strengthen your own bond with your spouse and perhaps pass on some of that positive energy to the two young people who bring us here together, Christopher and Pippa. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today to take part in the most time-honored celebration of the human family, uniting two young people in marriage. Philippa and Christopher come to witness before us, telling of their love for each other. We remember theirs is a love whose source is the affection of those who loved them into being. We remind them that they are performing an act of complete faith, each in the other, that the heart of their marriage will be the relationship that they create. In a world where faith often falls short of expectation, it's a tribute to these two who now join hands and hearts in perfect faith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Chris and Pippa have decided to write and recite their own vows. And so we're going to begin with Pippa. I think that Phoebe has the vows. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I don't have a mic, but he does. I'm going to try not to laugh or cry. My dearest Muppet Man, the winemaker, or that guy in Brooklyn. I think most people who knew me before can attest that I wasn't very good at living until I met you. I'm not really sure if you can be bad at living, but I can say with certainty that I never ventured out of my shell far enough to experience life. I was quiet and mousy, and I still kind of am, but then I met you. I'm still quiet and mousy, very much so, but despite the ups and downs, I love life, and I love our life. There is so much of the world, so much beauty in the world that you have shown me. Every day, you challenge me to be a better person, and every day I become a little bit better. I would be blind to life still if I hadn't met you. People thought I was crazy because I was driving to New York from the Finger Lakes every weekend, and then driving from Canada to New York whenever I could, and then taking the train from Brooklyn to Albany to see you, and finally driving from Hammondsport to Hammondsport from Albany while I was in grad school. But I never once doubted that you were worth it. It didn't ever feel like a burden because it felt like coming home. We have had our pick of pizza in Brooklyn, held an exotic banana tasting in a dingy hotel room. And while I still embarrassingly don't have a palate for wine, I like to think that I do for gin. Even when we barely had enough money to pay our bills, it didn't stop you from finding a way for us to enjoy soft-shell crabs, or less glamorously, scrape together the money to buy a 12-pack and a bag of Freezy Pops. You've taught me that there is beauty in all areas of life, both in its complexity and its simplicity. Thank you forever for not leaving that coffee shop, even though I was 20 minutes late to our first date because I was sitting in my car waiting for you to roll into the parking lot, but unbeknownst to me, you had already gotten there. Thank you forever for everything. Katalis, who has the best words for every situation, unsurprisingly, has applicable words here too. So, Tom Wiwamus, Meo Christoforo, Atque Amemus. Let us live and let us love.
Chris,
All right,
you've got the vows.
I have them. This is my pocket, of course. We got it ready. Just give me a second. Okay. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Philippa! I love you. Today and forever, it'll always be you and I. Together through cities and through false opportunities and whatever life has thrown at us. It'll be the world, it'll be us versus the world. Some people think relationships are as solid as a rock, but it's really like a wave. There's always highs and lows, but the currents are always constant. That's a quote by me. My Philippa, my Phyllis, Pippa, my Peepee. I promise to love you through whatever life sends our way. We can't predict sickness and sin is not our way. That's it. But through love, passion, power, and prevalence, we'll live our life.
Oh, are you good?
I think so.
There's a little more.
There's a little more.
You're right here.
I know. Thank you. They say everything happens for a reason. And for everything, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So, Pippa, for always and forever, I'll always love you. That's my speech.
Here, I can just take that.
Pretty good. You guys should do the boom, boom, boom.
All right, and now comes the exchange of the rings. Will you now give and receive a ring, Pippa and Christopher?
Yeah. I don't know what we're supposed to say.
That's okay.
Yikes. That one goes to you. That goes to you.
Okay, you got him? All set? All right. Chris, please place the ring on the fourth finger of Pippa's left hand.
I know.
Yeah.
And now, excuse me, and now repeat after me. Actually, don't repeat after me.
Okay.
Christopher, will you receive Pippa as your wife? Will you pledge to her your love, faith, and tenderness, cherishing her with a husband's loyalty and devotion?
I will.
Philippa, please place your ring on the fourth finger of Chris's left hand. Philippa, will you receive Chris as your husband? Will you pledge to him your love, faith, and tenderness, cherishing him with a wife's loyalty and devotion?
I will.
We speak to Christopher and Philippa of love, in which the trust and freedom of the other person becomes as significant as the trust and freedom of oneself. We speak to them of generosity, which gathers the beauty of the earth for riches, and of kindness, which turns away the wrath of foolish men and women. We speak of each of our hopes for their continued growth through patience, one for the other. We speak of our confidences that new levels of understanding, discovered by them in experiences of sorrow and tribulation, shall bring ever new surprises of strength and fortitude that they do not now know. In the years which shall bring Chris and Pippa into greater age and wisdom, we hope that their love shall be ever young, that they shall be able always to recover from moments of despair. In this hope, may they keep the vows made on this day in freedom, teaching each other who they are, what they yet shall be, enabling them to know that in the fullness of being they are more than themselves and more than each other, that they are all of us, and that together we share joyously the fruits of life. And inasmuch as Philippa and Christopher have declared their love and devotion to each other before family and friends, and by the power invested in me by the state of New York, I now greet them with you formally as husband and wife.
That's me.
I will find it, what I've been looking for. I will journey till I walk through that door. Like a slideshow, in my mind I see
We learned today that you guys are from Ireland, and so we've got a real special song for you guys tonight. This is a very traditional Irish wedding song. It's actually called the Irish Wedding Song. It's a blessing from parents to their children. So here we go. Here they stand, hand in hand, they've exchanged wedding bells. Today is the day, and their dreams and their plans. And all we who love them just wanted to say, may God bless this couple who married today. In good times and bad times, in sickness and health, may they know that riches are no need for wealth. Help them face problems that meet on their way. Oh, God bless this couple who married today. May they find peace of mind comes to all who are kind. And may the hard times ahead become triumphs in time. And may their children be happy each day. Oh, God bless this family who started today. In good times and bad times, in sickness and health, may they know that wishes are no need for wealth. Help them face problems that meet on their way. Oh, God bless this couple who married today. Oh, help them face problems that meet on their way. Oh, God bless this couple who married today.
My name's Adam. I'm an alcoholic. No, it's the right notebook. I read everything in this one. I'm Adam. I'm somehow Chris's best man. It worked out really well. We went to high school together. We played in a bunch of bands together. He's alright. I guess you could say I'm like the brother from another mother, the Papalias. Yeah, they kind of like pulled me in. I honestly think I see Frank more than I see Chris now. Frank's pretty cool. You guys know Frank? Who knows Frank? Give Frank a round of applause. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He tries on the guitar. Look at that guy. Look at all the hair on his head. Anyways, Chris and Pippa. Oh boy. I've known you guys for a long time. So the first time I ever met Pippa, Chris talked about, oh, I'm seeing this new girl, she's pretty cool, blah blah blah. So I was like, oh, no, let's hang out. We're in New York. I'm living in New York on an internship. He's in Brooklyn doing his wine thing or whatever sciencey stuff he does. So we decided to hang out. I'm like, oh, let's go to a bar. Turns out she wasn't 21. So we decided to hang out in this really dirty, sweaty little apartment in East Village. So my first time meeting Pippa, she comes over. I'm like half a bottle deep in picklebacks. And, you can imagine how the night goes from there. Somehow, after that whole experience, she still lets me and Chris hang out. So pretty much from there on out, I knew she was a keeper. Let me just flip my pages here. This is a whole mess. So Chris and Pippa started dating at some point in time when Chris was in New York and living in what was essentially a garage, maybe, and you had a shower that was powered by propane that like sometimes worked. So you pretty much started dating at like the low of the low of the low. Like who has ever lived in a place that had a shower that sort of worked?
It had good water pressure.
It had great water pressure, but it didn't have heat unless the propane was filled. Yeah. I mean, I was even kind of awestruck, and I was in a pretty low place. So you guys started dating, and the amount you guys have like grown since then. Like you started at the low of the low. That's when you guys fell in love. So you guys are like in a phenomenal place right now. There's absolutely no way this isn't gonna work. You know? Like there's nothing that can happen that will make this fail. Which makes me very excited for you. That's how far you've come. Anyways, let me flip my pages. These notes are a hot mess. Let's just go to Chris. All right. Chris. Look at that hair. You guys like that hair? Give me a cheer for that hair. Give me a cheer for that hair. Come on. All right. So Pippa, let me give you a few notes here. So I've known Chris a long time. A little bit too long, if I'm gonna be honest. Chris is kind of like a puppy. You know, he's very loud. You gotta clean up after him a while. And he needs lots of attention. When he's very vocal, he needs lots of attention. You gotta give him belly rubs, you gotta give him, you know, all that sort of things. You know, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But he needs lots and lots and lots of attention. And when he's complaining about something, so say you go and have a fun excursion, and Chris starts complaining, that means he's having fun. If he's not complaining, that means he's not having fun. Yeah, so the louder Chris is, the more attention he needs, the more fun he's having. That's my piece of advice for you. And Chris might think he knows everything. He is a certified member of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, which I'm very proud of, which is not a cheap endeavor to be a part of. You're a registered field investigator for upstate New York, right? Yeah. And you might have gone down some very deep, dark UFO holes. I might have gotten calls late at night related to UFOs that are somewhat concerning. But that's in the past, hopefully. Your certificate's still in your fridge, though. Let's get rid of that. Let's just.
I was gonna bring my lanyard today.
But what Chris is good at, he's really freaking good at. You know, your wine stuff, your chemistry stuff, your whatever you actually know, that you're not just pretending you know, you're a freaking champ, dude. Like you put on this goofy, fun, whatever facade, like he's not fun at all. He's not fun. He's just smart. Somehow. I don't know. Look at him. Look how happy he looks. That's fake. He's just a freaking nerd under that. He's a little nerd. Anyways, Pippa. Chris deserves a lot of attention. He needs a lot of loving. And when he knows something, when he actually knows something, you can't argue with him. Right? He reads too much. You can't argue with it. Alright, so this speech is a hot mess. So let's move on to Pippa. Pippa, again, somehow you just you let me stay in this friend group, which I am forever grateful for. Because my first impression was pretty terrible. I'm not going to go into that. You are one of the most hardworking people, and Chris included, he works his ass off, that I've ever met. Like, I honestly don't know how many degrees you have, but you've been working on a lot, and I don't know what they are, but you've explained them to me probably 10 times. But it's absolutely phenomenal the amount of things you've accomplished and where you've, brought your life to be, coming from that stinky little sort of shower working garage in Brooklyn. You're probably the best dog mom I've ever met. You've taught Megan and I, my wife, Megan right there, so much about our dog. Give Megan a round of applause. She's the best. I absolutely love her. You've taught us so much about being dog parents. And we're forever grateful for that, and that will obviously go on to the future for you. Yikes.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. So I'll close this up. What? 8 minutes? We're on 8 minutes already? Jesus Christ. What do I need to be? 10 minutes?
Not a debate.
What time am I at? What time am I at? Who's timing this? Anybody? Nope. Okay. My wife's telling me to wrap this. Anyways, you guys, honestly, you two are literally my best friends in the entire world. I am so freaking happy for you. I'm so happy for whatever's going to happen in the future. And you guys are going to build the best life for you guys, what exactly it means to you and your 3 little weird piggies over there for the future. So before I get too weird about this, let's just raise our glasses. And let's cheers. As Chris said in his speech, let's cheers to pee-pee. To pee-pee!
That's going to be hard to follow. Wow. So, first of all, Amy, this will be quick, don't worry. We'll make this a quick one. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. We've got a beautiful day and we're celebrating a beautiful couple. So my name's Aiden, I'm Chris's brother, so I've known him since I've been alive. This has been an honor. So a couple of things I want you to know about Chris. He has an incredible eye. I think Pippa highlighted this best, but he's able to find beauty everywhere. You're gonna make me cry. No, but it's an admirable thing, and it fills life with joy. And he's one of the happiest guys I've ever met. So Pippa's really lucky. And funny story for all our family here that knows Chris. He's the funniest guy. He's so funny he makes himself laugh. And you guys are laughing because you know it's true. I'm just happy that he's found someone to finally laugh with him. So congratulations, Chris and Philippa. Wishing you the most out of life, happiness, and all the beauty that you can find. one more and then we cut.
And then real quick, I just want to say, Chris and Philippa, I'm so happy for you guys. I wish you guys so much love and happiness. I'm so happy you guys are happy.
Hi everybody. For those name is Phoebe. I'll preface this by saying I'm definitely not the writer in the family, so bear with me. I did the best I could. So each time I sat down to write this, I felt more and more like I was writing a love letter to my sister. Then I realized that there are many different kinds of love. There's romantic love, there's parental love, and there's sibling love, which personally I feel is the best, and specifically the love between sisters. A common theme throughout my life has been how incredibly important my sisters are to me, and I'm so excited to share a glimpse of that love that I feel for Pippa with you all today. So Philippa is roughly 3 years older than me, and I would like to say that ever since we were little, we were completely inseparable, we loved each other, it was great. As many of my family members can attest to, that's not true. Pippa and I couldn't stand each other. To give you an idea of just how deep this dislike went, Pippa once put a line of blue painter's tape down our shared bedroom and said, "If you cross this line, I'll smack you." And in retaliation, I did smack her. And immediately I started crying and saying, "Dad, Philippa hit me. You need to punish her. She hit me." So, safe to say, we weren't each other's biggest fans. I just never really understood why my two older sisters got to do everything that I couldn't. They could ride in the front seat. Why couldn't I do that? They could walk down to the ice rink on their own. I was 4 years old. I could do that myself. What are they talking about? Escort? As I'm sure any younger sibling can attest to, it was infuriating, and you bet that I took full advantage of that when my littlest sister Amelia was born. And the fact that Pippa got to do that before me, she's only 3 years older than me. Like, oh boy, what the heck? So when I was younger, I used to think it was all because I hated Pippa. How dare she get to do this? But come to find out, in my ripe old age of 22, it was because I wanted to be just like Pippa, and that must have been so annoying for her. Could you imagine? Well, I never became my older sister. I know, complete shocker, who would have thought? But in 9th grade, we became something so much better. We became the best of friends. We had different interests, different styles. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get choked up, just like my dad said. I might turn into a blubbering heap. Here we go. And different academic specialties, but we were in lockstep, and we have been ever since. If anything important happens in my life, Pippa gets the first call. If anything non-important happens in my life, Pippa gets the first call. If I'm in the car for an hour, I'm gonna call Pippa. Even when I'm in the grocery store and I know I'm annoying every single other person in there, you bet that I'm on the phone talking to my sister to let her know what I'm making for dinner and to get any suggestions she might have. I could not tell you the amount of times that we have stayed on the phone for upwards of 3 hours, just going about our day, not even talking to each other, just walking around our living rooms on the phone. She's my biggest critic and my biggest offender, and I truly cannot express how happy I am to have her, not only as my sister, but as my friend. Now I guess I should talk a little bit about Chris and Pippa. I guess it is their wedding, why not? Most of the time this is really easy. Chris will do all the talking for you. Women's aren't big talkers. Chris has definitely got that covered. But all jokes aside, I have never met somebody with a greater zest for life than Chris. As everybody has said, this man really knows how to live it up, with the exception of losing to my dad in endless whiskey drinking battles. When Pippa and Chris went on their first date, Pippa came back and said, it was good. He said he wanted to get a goldfish, tie a string around it, and take it for walks around the bowl. I remembered my other sisters and I encouraging her to go for it. It seemed like they had pretty similar senses of humor, and maybe it would pan out. And if not, well, she got a few free dinners, right? Well, I, for one, am so glad that she went for it. All jokes aside, I can genuinely say there is not a better suited couple than Philippa and Chris. They match each other perfectly. Chris's goldfish walks were met by Pippa's walking around the kitchen with frozen chicken feet for hands. I have a video if anybody wants to see it. This really happened. And they also complement each other's personalities. You have loud, outgoing, spontaneous Chris, and he would be nothing without his stoic, quiet, and sharp-witted Pippa. And vice versa. They just fit. Now, I don't really know how to end this. That's a common Bromlinen family trend. We just kind of slink off and walk away. So basically, the moral of the story is that Philippa and Chris are just like really cool. So cheers, I forgot my class, but cheers and congratulations to my best friend and my best friend in
Number one, I'd like to thank you all for coming. You're here, it's a beautiful venue, and thanks to the Weisses for hosting, so thank you all. And Espe and Peter, they're right back there somewhere. But you never realize time passes until you witness one of your own kids get married. So,
I'll bring us down.
Chris was freaking quiet as a child. Shit, he was quiet. He was very quiet. You would never imagine this, but he was very, very quiet. So, how the hell did he end up like Zach Galifianakis? A mix of Bradley Cooper, and take a second here, Charlie Day. He's pure Charlie Day, but
Charlie worked.
yeah, he did. But based on his free-range upbringing, I mean, that was pure free-range upbringing. By the age of 24, Chris has accomplished, had lived on his own, and he started, I think for 3 years he lived on his own, but played in 3 loud bands. I'm telling you, 3 loud bands.
Very loud.
Yeah, very loud. Started 2 businesses, wrote 2 very smashing hits that are on YouTube, if anybody wants to hear them. And ended up in what I call God's country. But the first time we ever met Pippa, she was something, well, I'll never forget, but I love her to death. Her outfit embodied everything about her, from being the fossil hunter and history buff she is. She wore the perfect outfit. And I remember this outfit from day one. It was Christmas Day. Galaxy pants. A sweater of Abraham Lincoln. Wait. Fighting off a T-Rex. If that doesn't scream P-I-P-P-A-P-A-P-A-L-I-A. Damn, say that twice. P-A-P-P-A-P-A-P-A-L-I-A. If you think about it, it's a perfect analogy. Chris is 1,000% T-Rex. To Pippa's Abraham Lincoln. Well, I gotta end this because this is too slow. But cheers to Pippa and Chris. May you always feel loved, because you always put each other first. Love you both. P-I-P-P-A. P-A-P-A-L-A.
I won't be doing that. I'm just going to do a quick Irish blessing. May God give you for every storm a rainbow, for every tear a smile, for every care a promise and a blessing in each trial, for every problem life sends a faithful friend to share, for every sign a sweet song and an answer for each prayer. Best of luck, health, and happiness. Salute.
I'll say that I'm very impressed with everybody using their phones, but I got a piece of paper. Oh, it's not working? Oh, here we go. All right. So I'm so impressed with everybody reading their speeches off their phones. That's great. I don't know how to do that, and so I've got my old-fashioned piece of paper here, and it's all written down. So good evening, and thanks to everybody for coming. Again, whether you came from a distance or whether you're local, I want to tell you how grateful that I am for everybody making the effort to be here today. The last 18 months have been scary, to say the least, and the fact that you're all willing to come in the midst of all of that really does show us how much you care about Philippa and about Chris, and so again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I would be remiss to not mention those who are not here, but who so would have wanted to be here. Chris's grandmother from Ireland, his Italian relatives, Pippa's Canadian family and friends, and last but certainly not least, her grandparents Wilma and Don, who would have been in their element tonight and would have loved to be here had they been capable of being here, because they've passed to the great beyond. Philippa, I cannot believe that we've come to this point. 25, almost 26 years has gone by faster than I ever could have imagined. And I hope you agree that despite some ups and downs along the way, for the most part, it's been a very good ride. Philippa was not the one that I figured would take this first step. From her earliest days, she was my quiet one. In fact, Philippa was always more comfortable with animals than people. She was painfully shy with people, but animals just flocked to her. And it wasn't anything about the way she smelled. She was like the horse whisperer, in an uncanny ability to relate to animals of all kinds, whether they lived in a house or the zoo or the tree that grew next to the house. Maybe it was her soulful dark eyes, but animals have always trusted Philippa. So over the years, we had lots and lots of them. Not just dogs and cats. Philippa had pet rats who rode around on her shoulder. She had ferrets. She had a fish named Mid-China Buffet because that was her favorite Chinese restaurant. She did. She had cats, and it seemed like about 100,000 dogs over the year, and now she's got pigs. Her relationship with animals is what defines Philippa, and that's the truth. So imagine her mother's and my surprise when she brings home this guy, Chris, who just loves to hunt and fish. Suddenly, Pippa's toting around a gun. She's choking fish and ripping hooks out of their mouths. She's firing a gun at these quiet, beautiful little deer who are just resting by the side of the road. And the pork that we're all eating tonight. Last year, she had these little pigs, delightful little pigs. She named them Pancetta and BLT. And I said to Pippa, you're not going to be able to go through with this. These nice little pigs who you name and who follow you around and love you. No way are you going to eat them. Well, I have a picture of her on my phone holding the severed back half of BLT with a great big smile on her face and bleeding out on the table. So Philippa is suddenly just
kind of a badass. So all that stuff that I said during the ceremony about how a husband and wife complement each other, maybe this is them putting that into action. Philippa is now a gun-toting hunter with nerves of steel. And Chris has become this very quiet, thoughtful, and rather meek young man. He never utters a peep. He's so respectful and nice. No, Chris brings a welcome breath of fresh air into our family. His enthusiasm, his zest for adventure, his willingness to put up with some never-ending girl wars. I don't know if I mentioned, I have 4 daughters. You can all feel bad for me now. It's good to have you, Chris. Welcome to the family. I'll wrap this up, but I want to say one more thing with a bit of a serious, kind of maudlin dad kind of vibe. Philippa, I hope that as you move forward into this new phase of your life, you look back and you recognize one very important thing about your upbringing and the life that your mother and I created for you. We aren't people who dedicated our lives to career or to the pursuit of wealth. That was never our path, never our intention. What we did instead was dedicate our adult lives in almost every way to our family, to you and to your sisters. You and your sisters were the overriding focus of our lives. I'm sorry, right? Phoebe said I'm like a blubbering mess, but forgive me. We weren't always perfect, but we tried to create a fun, active, loving home in the best way we knew how. So we tried to be honest about who we were with you, and we always tried to show through our actions and our words just how much we loved you. We love you, Philippa, and Chris, we love you too. So I'm proposing a toast, not only to Philippa and Chris, and of course we wish them all the love and joy in the world, but I'm also proposing a toast to the idea and the concept and the practice of family. In the times that sometimes feel like they're getting darker and darker, may we all appreciate and honor family, not just our own, but everybody else's as well. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the dinner. This is the part where I walk off over there like Phoebe said.
Open your eyes, I'm gonna show you. We're gonna run right through the light, yeah, I'm gonna hold you. And if the sky should fall, every single star, we're gonna bring them back to life, every single spark. The sound of the waves, the feel of the water, the calm in the way it washes all the sons and the daughters. Should the rivers flood to the tall treetops, I'm gonna hold back all the